Welcome back to Unveiling Shadows podcast. I'm your host for the Survivor and the Skeptic, and my co-host is Erica Bailey, the wonderful Miss Bailey, whom I love very much.
I love you more. I love
Thank
you
you.
more.
Thank
All
you.
right, folks. Let me put this closer to me. We have
Yeah.
got a show for you today. By popular demand, we're going to be
Yep.
talking about stalking. I didn't even know that. Well, actually, I knew that this existed because I watched the documentary from what was that TV? She was a movie star, TV star, and it was about the Scientologists
Yeah.
talking about,
Yep.
and like it
Scientology.
showed like yeah, they showed that like people would follow these, if somebody was trying to get out of the church or whatever, people would like follow them around and harass them with
You're
like
talking about Lisa. You're talking about Lisa. Uh, what is her last name? I know.
yeah. But yeah, so you know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
And she did like this whole like documentary series. Um, Leah Remini.
Oh,
Remini?
Leah, that's right.
Leah Remini. It was
Yeah.
like the Scientology and the aftermath. And I remember seeing that, and that's how I related Scientology, and I mean gang stalking,
Mm-hmm.
when you started telling me about it and that's how I knew without a question that this was happening because I saw it elsewhere, and it was very, very real. So this definitely is happening. Hi, Autumn. Thanks for
Yes.
joining
Hello, Autumn.
and always coming back. We're
Yes.
grateful for you. Hey, you tune in from Facebook, right, Autumn? I think I see you on Facebook all the time.
Yep. Yep. She says right there, Facebook.
Yeah.
We love you too.
And yes, hi, Mark. Oh,
Hey,
it's morning.
Joy.
It's your morning. It's your night. Hi, Joy. Hi, Fearless. And I got to do the whole, shameless pitch because I'm the marketing girl. But Kimberly did just launch the first two items in her merchandise and apparel. And the whole goal behind this is that she can raise funds to be able to create these platforms to help other people go through the process that she's going through at a price point that doesn't break them. Ultimately, I don't remember if you guys, I've said this before, but Kimberly's mission was to start a nonprofit to be able to help people financially through this whole trauma. So I'm really excited. You can find it on YouTube. We're about ready to launch a new website for her, and but yeah, there's a shop somewhere. Ooh, can I show it?
Yeah,
While we're
show
waiting
it.
for
Because I removed all the white ones that we need to
good.
redo the logo on, but it,
Look at
it looks
you
really
doing
good.
your own shit. So proud of you. Yeah, all right, I'm going to share this real quick and show you guys the merch that she came up with. Right now, we just have two designs.
Thank you,
Um,
Emily.
we've got two designs, but I think they are extremely powerful. So check this out. We've got your Stay Strong, You've Got This, which if you guys follow her frequently, that is what she closes everything out. And then we have the Silence Gets Us Nowhere Way Too Fast. So,
Which is true.
absolutely true. And so you can get this stuff. She put it at the cheapest price points possible. But ultimately, her goal is to be able to help others find your freedom the way that
And
she has
strength.
been able to.
Yeah, and strength.
So, congratulations on this huge, huge success for you, Miss Kimberly. I am so proud of you. I know
Thank
we talked
you.
about this 6 months ago. And so to be able to have this out here, I'm just so proud of you. So great job. And so that's that. There's my shameless plug
Thank
for my
you.
BFF.
Yes, yes. I
All
love you.
right. So, gang stalking. What do we want to? How do we want to start this? Our goal is to show you, some videos, and kind of go over the different types of gang stalking, what to look for.
Okay, this is what Billy's saying.
Okay.
Is there some background noise going on in your level? His V2K is...
Yeah, it's my air conditioner. I'll go turn it off real quick, just for you, Billy. Uno momento. Kimberly, why don't you tell everybody what we're talking about today? I'll be right back.
All right, so I follow this group on Quora, and I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see it. It's pretty good. It says, stop gang stalking crimes, become aware and power your world. Real gang stalking victims and evidence. Providing real knowledge and proof from legitimate TIs and exposing the truth. And so I thought that this was, pretty good. And then it goes through a bunch of questions. How do you get rid of gang stalkers? TI survey question 104. What type of harassment do you experience and for how much of your time in a day? There are two types of harassment. The first, people stalking you, taking photos and videos, verbally assaulting you, burping. They could do that. beeping horns, which I have had that, trying to run you off the road, trying to provoke you with street theater, anything that involves actual people, commonly called gang stalking. I prefer organized stalking. The second is electronic warfare, DWs, direct energy weapons, voice cloning and broadcasting, V2K, RNM, remote neural monitoring, dream incubation, and hypnotic suggestion, surveillance cameras and microphones, hacked devices, smart TVs spying on you. I refer to all of this as a DEW. For each of these, how much time during your day do you experience this harassment? Please express your answers in percentages. For example, you may experience gang stalking 50% of your time. You are outside and exposed to people, but the DEW attacks are 100% of your time inside and outside. The reason I think this way is because over the years I've had some TIs say that they experience one but not the other. Much of the difference has to do with what and who is available in your area. If there are enough desperate people that can be recruited to become stalkers or not, and if the technical infrastructure exists for electronic harassment. He said, for myself, the answers are very different from where I used to live in San Diego, California, where I was gang stalked by people 100% of the time and subjected to DEWs 100% of the time. From where I am now in Port St. Lucie, Florida, where I rarely experience people outside gang stalking me at 10% of the time, and the DEW, which I only experience well at home and not so much outside, overall 50% of my day. Please try to keep your answers short, so it'll take a while for me to compare the data with your location. If you did not answer my where are you question, please indicate your city and state. Leave your answers in the comments. Thanks, Matt. So there's a lot of good information
in the chat so that people can access it easily.
Yes, I will do that right now.
And then are we going to kind of break these different tactics down and talk about like what that actually looks like, what to look for, and maybe how to protect yourself? Like, is that our plan?
So, yeah. So that's what I think. Why is my call in another window? Let me see what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So
Billy,
here.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Billy, let me know if that helped, if that's better for you. Okay, hun? If not, I'll figure something else out.
So I sent you a YouTube video that I think we should watch. I think it's like 13 minutes, under 13 minutes. But I think that it's a good one.
Fantastic. The voices compel them. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sorry, I haven't slept in like 36 hours. My brain's running a little slow. I don't even have my face on, but y'all don't care, right? No. All right.
You look beautiful.
I do. I'm naturally beautiful, even without my red lips.
Yes.
All right. Organized gang stalking. Where to begin? I don't know, Mark. We're gonna figure it out together, though, friend. Okay, is this what we're looking at?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna turn it on, but mute your mic.
Oh, yep. Doing it now.
Okay.
Of harassment methods used by covert community recruits, COINTELPRO, Gladio, covert community recruits, and stay behind armies. As chief medical officer for Northern Finland, Dr. Rauni Kilde was a political insider who was invited to many open and many secret international conferences. She was privy to top secret documents. Clearly, this manual for psychological warfare presents the methods by which security services surveil, punish, neutralize, and ultimately murder their designated civilian targets. This manual was evidently used in stay-behind army operations, including Operation Gladio, that were secretly staged in post-World War II Western Europe between 1950 and 1990 by British intelligence, MI6, CIA, and NATO, in cooperation with local groups including mafias and the Masons. Many phrases and spellings in this document use the British form of the English language. This probably reflects the fact that it was written by British military intelligence operatives. If so, we may speculate that it was authored by an individual or group associated with the Tavistock Institute of Human Relations, which grew out of the Psychological Warfare Division of the British Army at the close of World War I, and has for decades been the world's brainwashing center. The remarkable revelation here is that modern organized stalking operations are identical with, or nearly identical with, those used in the terror operations of Operation Gladio and the stay-behind armies of post-World War II Western Europe, as well as the operations conducted by the FBI in their top-secret COINTELPRO, or counterintelligence program, of the 1950s through the 1970s. It is worth noting that as of 2013, U.S. Special Operations Forces, in other words, the U.S. military, is engaged in similar destabilization and citizen elimination operations being carried out in the name of counterterrorism in approximately 134 of the world's 195 nations. See, the world is the battlefield, U.S. SOCOM involved in 134 counterterrorism wars. Okay, the manual. General. Operations in general are of the active surveillance type. Passive surveillance is watching a target covertly to obtain information about the target. Active surveillance can include information gathering, but it also includes the agent making the target aware they are under surveillance. Beyond active surveillance, agents perform acts to keep the target uncomfortable around the clock. Although operations are silently approved of and covered for by the official justice system, they are not seen as criminal in nature by citizens who do not have a strong sense of right and wrong. Agents must take great care that each and every act of punishment is deniable. This means that should the target complain to police or any other officials or friends, neighbors, family members, or doctors, the nature of the punishment must be seen as the target's overactive imagination, or better yet, an indication of the target is mentally ill. The system has worked for years to recruit the medical establishment to help maintain deniability, and today most targets are immediately labeled as mentally ill and often forced onto antipsychotic medication when they complain. But their agents must still do their part skillfully to perform acts of punishment so that almost anyone the target complains to will deny the crime against the target has taken place. As an agent, you will be trained in how to do this. The system has been blessed with advanced technology, which enables heavy punishment at times the target is in their home, silently through walls, and this is very deniable. Agents must pass their initial training and demonstrate a high level of commitment to maintain community safety and the ability to operate deniably before they will be considered for advanced electronic punishment training. Electronic punishment training is beyond the scope of this manual. The organization is very fortunate in that we have been able to recruit top specialists to back up field operations people. Psychologists are the key to finding ways to maximize feelings of stress and hopelessness in the target, and degrading the target's health from many individual minor invasive punishment acts. Technicians in all fields, telecommunications, electric power, building electrical and alarm systems, and utility employees in all fields use their positions to inflict many absolutely normal-looking problems on targets on an ongoing basis. And of course, the services of many skilled locksmiths are invaluable in this. As a community-based agent, CBA, you will have the privilege of working with a team capable of delivering better justice than the official system. 2, surveillance. Surveillance is the foundation of all operations. Both community-based agent, CBA, visual surveillance, and advanced electronic surveillance are used. This chapter will cover only local agent visual surveillance. Your local lead agent will schedule surveillance watches for each target in that community. Each target will have at least one CBA watching them at all times, even while at home and asleep. Each CBA surveillance team will be given a cell phone number for reporting target actions and movement to the local control center, CC. Actions to be reported include, but are not limited to, target turns lights on to start the day. Target uses toilet or shower. Target exits residence. Target drives away. Target arrives at work. Or target shops or visits any other establishments or location. Target arrives home. Target eats meal at home or in restaurant. Target engages in sexual activity. Target turns lights off at the end of the day. Target turns lights on in the middle of the night. Target travels out of town. Some of these observations will be performed by the electronic core, EC, but CBAs should attempt to make and report as many detailed observations of target activity as possible. The reason such detail is necessary is that the punishment phase of active surveillance requires that supervisors customize each punishment action to match the personality of the target, and the need to make each punishment action appear to be life's normal breaks. One important punishment function of surveillance is to sensitize the target. Targets are never told they are under surveillance or being punished. Instead, close, active surveillance and other activities, happening far too frequently to be written off as life's normal breaks, will eventually cause the target to realize they are under surveillance and punishment. As a community-based agent, CBA, you will be given specific instructions on exactly when, where, and how to carry out punishment actions. As long as you carry out punishment instructions exactly as given, there is no way the target will be believed if they complain, and you will not be exposed to risk of action by law enforcement. How well the punishment actions work depends on how accurate and complete your reports are in many situations. The control center acquires access to properties or apartments immediately next to the target's homes or apartments. Because EC, Electronic Core, has through-the-wall surveillance and punishment equipment, they will be reporting target activity along with community-based agents. In a typical setup, CBAs may be posted in a parked car where the target's home or apartment can be observed overnight, for example. In this setup, the CB in the car may be instructed to call using walkie-talkie style cell phones, another CBA or team waiting or patrolling by car nearby to follow the target, or you may be assigned to follow the target yourself. You will receive instructions from your local center as to following the target. Targets in transit may be either covertly or visibly followed. When in doubt, hang back a bit and contact the center for instructions, as targets in transit can present many unanticipated situations. The center will always have the target's position monitored, so if a target gives the CBA the slip, it will assign other appropriate community-based agents to pick up the target at the earliest opportunity. Be sure to notify the control center immediately if you lose the target. When applying the visible following of a target, making the target uncomfortable because of your presence, you will be given instructions as to when to break off the following. Another CBA or CBA team may pick up the visible following, but once you have broken away, they advise that you are clear and ready for the next assignment. Number 3, intercepts. Intercepts are where community-based agents, CBA, will appear to, quote, just coincidentally, unquote, cross paths on foot with the target. Once the target has been sensitized to the point of realizing they are under surveillance and punishment, they will recognize and be made appropriately uncomfortable by the simple act of multiple CBAs, quote, just happening to, unquote, cross paths with them. Your local control center will instruct you as to how you will be cued to perform an intercept. Often you will have an on-site supervisor, OSS, position you and give you hand signals as to when to start your movement to intercept the target. Because targets moving about aren't always totally predictable, the success of CBA intercepts depends heavily on the electronic core, who have means of monitoring the exact whereabouts of every target, and through computer programs, predict exactly when and where a target will be as they move about the community. Your local OSS has a special means of receiving instant silent instructions from the center. 1. Intercepting CBAs may be asked to perform one of the following forms of intercept. 2. Simple path crossing, requiring the target to take evasive action to avoid collision. Multiple CBAs sometimes perform this several times during a single outing by a target. On foot, walking for an extended period on the opposite side of the street from a walking target. 3, arriving at a place known to be a favorite of the target and simply occupying that place just as the target is about to arrive. Restaurants, parks, public facility, seating, even bus seats are examples. Sometimes just hanging out in such a location at times and places where people don't ordinarily do that. 4, smoking, coin jingling, whistling, or toe tapping near the target at a location where the target is known to need to stand, as to wait for the bus, or standing right behind a target at a water fountain. 5, a group as many as a dozen CBAs may be assigned to arrive at a store just ahead of a target and form a queue ahead of the target, spending time buying lottery tickets to delay the target. The target is very tired and eager to get home after work, for example, or in a hurry. 6, community-based agents may be assigned to leave a next-door home or apartment exactly the same time as the target repeatedly. Alternatively, a CBA may intercept the target a short way before home and arrive at exactly the same time as the target. While these may seem like trivial acts, keep in mind that the target will have these quote-unquote trivial things happen every single day, and repeated intercepts like these will force the target to always watch for such acts, essentially ensuring the target never, quote, has a nice day, end quote. This is the goal, to ensure the target's punishment. Similar intercept operations are performed with vehicles. The center can schedule these every day the target commutes, and both to and from work. Vehicle intercepts are particularly effective when the target sees the same vehicle in an intercept convoy, both in the morning and in the evening. Because vehicle intercepts can be dangerous, CBA assigned to vehicle intercept duty must successfully complete a special training course prior to actual assignment. Here are some examples of vehicle intercepts a community-based agent, CBA, can expect to be assigned. Parking, so as to prevent the targets leaving a parking area and then disappearing. Parking commercial vehicles often near target's home with something unusual about these vehicles, such as there is no need for that trade or just unmarked white vans to make the target think the van is there to conduct surveillance. Simple following or leading a short distance, but every day, doing this both during target commutes and then other times makes the target very uncomfortable. Passing a side street stop sign, then stopping an uncomfortable distance into oncoming traffic just as target is about to arrive at the side street, causing the target to have to slam on the brakes. This requires control center assistance and prompting by walkie-talkie style cell phone. For a CBA vehicle convoy, boxing in the target during a commute, forcing the target to travel at a slower speed than the target wants to travel. In some locations, the center will supply special license plates to CBA vehicles with short words which have special meaning to the target. For a CBA convoy, where the target is at a location and time where traffic is normally very sparse, cause heavy traffic, forcing the target to notice. The ultimate vehicle intercept is the staged accident. This can be dangerous and is only assigned to very senior agents. However, it is possible to stage an accident, so only the target knows it was staged. This is an excellent means of punishment where a target has committed a serious offense specifically against Secret Services by revealing their criminality to the public. Generally, staged accidents are done in jurisdictions where police strongly support the operations, so the CBA driver is protected. 4, physical sabotage. Physical sabotage is an especially effective form of punishment when it is carefully limited to low-value items, below the value where police will take the report seriously. For example, burning a target's house down or even stealing an expensive appliance would bring official investigators into the picture, so that is not done. Sabotage producing extreme safety hazards is generally not suitable for operations because of the potential for bringing official investigators to an accident scene. So while damaging the brake system of a target's vehicle is not allowed for community-based agents, CBAs, draining some of the oil, transmission fluid, or radiator antifreeze is allowed, but not all of it. The goal is to make it look as if the target is negligent in maintaining fluid levels and generally not causing a catastrophic failure that non-targets might see as sabotage. It is very important to apply punishment by way of a large number of small value sabotage acts, because that makes it look like the target is forgetful, exaggerating, or in some cases even delusional, if they complain about many cases of small value damage. The target's associates will simply refuse to believe that anyone but the target is responsible. Sabotage is very important in that it lets the target know they are totally helpless to stop it and can't even complain about it effectively without appearing mentally ill. The organization is very fortunate in that some people hearing about sabotage from a target did the sabotage themselves to get attention. Sabotage is applied at the target's home, workplace, and on their vehicle. This requires the assistance of locksmiths and alarm technicians. Your local control center will supply this help and will bring specialists in from a distance in the case of rural areas. Here are examples of sabotage a community-based agent, CBA, may be assigned to carry out. Enter a vehicle or home and changing control and radio settings. Replacing window washer fluid with water, possibly destroying the system in winter. Scratching the paint on the target's vehicle, scratching furniture and valuables. Tire sabotage, from removing some air right up to slashing a sidewall, if authorized by the center. Simulating a break-in, electric window heater strips. Cutting off the four-way flasher button. Removing substantial amounts of oil, transmission fluid, or antifreeze, but not enough to cause catastrophic failure. Moving things around inside the vehicle to show the target someone got in. Unlocking the vehicle and leaving it unlocked, possibly even with door open. Small cuts to the car's upholstery. Unlocking the target's front or back door and leaving it ajar while the target is away, even at midnight at New Year or Y2 hour. Moving furniture or carpets around frequently to show the target someone was there. Stealing low-value items, especially items like scissors, which can easily be misplaced. Keeping them until the target replaces the item, then return the missing item, often in a place the target checked. Stealing important papers, especially those which will cost money to replace. Stealing irreplaceable photographs. While target is at work, remove mail from their box and toss it around, repeatedly making wall pictures crooked. Setting clocks to the wrong time. Repeatedly dumping consumable supplies, for example, coffee, to make the target think they are no longer capable of managing their supplies well. Starting small rips in new clothing, which are widened on repeated visits. Ripping crotches out of the target's underwear, or stealing finest underwear, swimsuits, etc. Replacing clothing with similar items which are too small for the target, like for children, what target does not have. Ironing inside button flags over, making buttoning the shirt on top difficult. Carefully working the tip of a knife through seams in any air mattress or cushion the target may own, including replacements on a daily basis. Breaking zippers in clothes and bags, perhaps by pulling out a tooth or two. Shoving a knife through the soles of waterproof boots. At work, removing screws from the target's office chair, or at home, dinner table, leaving only one screw of 4 left to tilt the table with china. At work, damaging or destroying, if not extremely obvious, a target's work from a previous day. For example, the computer is broken again, possibly worse. At work, replacing current copies of computer files with an older copy, particularly serious if a target is a computer programmer. At work, where some employees are or can be recruited to be community-based agents, set up mistaken deliveries of heavy goods which block the target's office. At work, if the target is responsible for parts of the operation which can be sabotaged, do so repeatedly just as the target starts eating lunch or is about to leave for home. At work, where the target is responsible for materials that can't be locked up, sabotage, or with special permission from the control center, steal the material. Thefts have to be carefully considered and authorized by your local center. Unless you have authorization, do not steal. One particularly effective type of theft is to remove small value, but often used items from the target's premises. Once the target has been observed purchasing a replacement, the item is returned. This not only causes the target to spend money uselessly, it also imposes a feeling of total helplessness on the target. 5, sabotaging the target's reputation. Sabotaging the target's reputation and all that goes with it, such as ability to earn a living, business and personal relationships, is a very special operations category. Newer community-based agents will not be assigned to, quote, unquote, engineer the method, but will assist in passing, quote, rumors, unquote, which are the main means of destroying a target's public image. Rumors consist mainly of lies. However, in order to secure cooperation of specific members of the community to participate in the punishment phase, additional information keyed to appeal to the patriotic or community service sense of such community members may be used as well. As mentioned earlier, the organization has many top psychologists and psychiatrists on permanent staff at headquarters, and some in larger population centers. It is their responsibility to design the campaign to destroy the target's reputation. These people listed below can be approached and given information which will cause them to make the target's association with them uncomfortable or break off all contact with the target. Business contacts, supervisors, co-workers, casual social contacts, such as clubs a target may be a member of, or a group that frequents a bar where the target is a patron, friends, local fraternal organizations. They are motivated by the public service and are an excellent source of assistance in keeping the target under surveillance and participating in the punishment phase as well. Store staffs at places the target shops, the target's landlord, the target's neighbors, tradesmen who are likely to service the target's home, car, or business, bus drivers on the target's route, local children, city employees, including emergency medical technicians, ambulances, homeless shelter staff and residents where applicable, family members. Surprisingly, many are ready to believe negative information, especially personnel at places the target applies for work. How intensely these sabotage operations are carried out is governed mainly by the need to prevent the target from learning that the negative rumors are being spread. The goal is to keep negative information covertly flowing into the community in such a way that those receiving the information aren't likely to tell the target. One might think that friends and family members would instantly notify the target and side with the target. Fortunately, experience shows that co-opting friends and family is surprisingly easy once they are informed about the target's criminal record. The headquarters staff have developed techniques which by and large prevent that, but those techniques are beyond the scope of this manual. Suffice it to say that it is possible to apply incentives which cause even people closest to the target to cooperate. These incentives are applied by specialists from our organization at higher than the local level. For the community level CBA, the work of sabotaging the reputation of the target takes the form of simply carrying out instructions from your control center as to what you say to whom, how, and when. From your control center as to what you say to whom, how, and when. 6, discrediting targets. While
Real quick, it looks like there are multiple parts to this, so I'm
Yeah.
thinking maybe we need to just drop the link in so that people can
Yep.
watch it from this
Yeah,
point.
do that because I think that that was a good enough point to bring across. And this is Fritz Springmeier, by the way, I believe. Fritz Springmeier, Jeff, one of the TIs that was on my podcast, has his phone number. I'm not sure how I want to approach this. I believe, well, Fritz Springmeier wrote some books and then ended up being imprisoned for 9 years. And so he was obviously targeted. So I'm not sure how I want to approach the conversation with him. Maybe I can have him on as a guest on the Radical Truth Summit, Erica. I don't really know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Or maybe I can have a separate set of the Unveiling Shadows podcast that isn't for TIs because I want to give TIs that relief of letting them know that they're not alone and that they have a platform for them to come on and talk about it, right?
We could do a private, like we did with the Radical Truth Summit. We can create a private community that is off Facebook, that's on your server, or off YouTube. It's on your server that people can join and get access and communicate in private. It's all locked down by Kimberly's own server account. So I dropped the link in just a few minutes ago. It's the YouTube link. So I was doing some research while we were listening to that, and I hear a lot of this is, created by the government. That's what I'm hearing. Are fusion centers, is that what he was talking about?
Yes.
Is that what a fusion center
Yes.
is? Okay.
Yep. The command center, the fusion center, which they have one in Salt Lake City. And I sent them a cease and desist order, when I knew that I was being targeted because I found that information on Targeted Justice. And the private investigator that I was working with at the time, I sent him a copy of that signed, notarized cease and desist letter. And I went into his office and he's like, I saw that. You're scaring the shit out of me. You need to stop that. And I'm like, F off. He was a former cop. Like, he did not help me, like, at all. He just stole my money, which now I don't really have any money, but whatever.
So as I was researching this, I found something actually quite interesting. Well, I'm a big proponent of actual scientific studies done by actual people being interviewed. And I dropped a link way above, but it's part of the National Library of Medicine, National Center for Biotechnology Information. And basically it was a study that was done, and it looks like an official study that was done, and it looks like it had involved mixed quantitative and qualitative design there were over 20 million hits revealed by the initial search, and a ton of people who actually submitted. It was private and it was a form, and they submitted their experiences. But what they did is they took a group of 50 people to analyze their experiences. These were all men and women above the age of 18, all English speaking. And what they came up with here, this is a very long study, I'll drop it in here again, but what they came up with is, and I found this really interesting, because I thought gang stalking was really more from like organizations like churches or businesses or political parties, right?
But it
Based
can
on
be, yeah, it can be from that too. Yeah.
yeah. And what it showed was that like the majority of people who were gang stalked are women. Like the very high majority of people who are gang stalked are women. And they broke it down into sorry, I had all of this. They broke it down into different definitions. So they talked about the length of stalking, the reasons behind gang stalking. Some of the answers were to drive people to meet up groups or psychiatrists so that they can be medicated and or get more federal grants for more mental health instead of training real police forces. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a big seller. Brainwashing military experiment post 9/11. Part of an overt agenda to test mind control. And that was like some of the reasons, right? They talked about length of gang stalking and then categories of experiences. So what I want to go through real quick is these different categories, and maybe kind of what that looks like, what to look for, and see if there's anything we can do to offer like guidance on how to, combat this, right? Because I mean, it is just beyond the government. It seems like it's very widespread. So physical surveillance being followed. That's pretty easy. 94% of people who answered this said that they were experiencing physical surveillance. So like that show we were talking about in the beginning, what this Church of Scientology, they would send people out and like take pictures and record and embarrass the person in front, in a grocery store or anything like that. So being followed. Did you experience that?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. By my neighbors.
But I want you
Basically
to know.
stalking. Yeah, like they knew where I was all the time. So on the other body cam footage, my estranged mother and estranged kids, the ones who tried to get guardianship over me, ended up being there. And I'm like, how
Yeah.
the fuck did they know to be there when I pulled that power switch, when I was MK Ultra to pull that power switch so that they could incarcerate me? How did they know? Because of the neighbors telling them and calling them and getting in my business when they had no business getting in my business.
How many of you have experienced that? Like just drop a thumbs up or a me or an I. I'm very interested how many of you watching have experienced that. Or some sort of actual like following and surveillance. And then says victim of a conspiracy. It said 80% of people believe that the government is behind with the help of the police and local agencies. People are being spied on, fusion centers, round the clock worldwide, controlled by police. They would see police cars, army trucks, Navy and Air Force vehicles just show up out of nowhere. And yeah, so that was kind of the whole government side of things. So 80% of people believe that it's part of a government conspiracy, which we know you actually experienced with the police and them, them trying to, when you got assaulted and then trying to tell you that you were the
Aggressor.
one that was crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So In terms of, let's jump back real quick. In terms of the being followed constantly, like harassed and surveilled, what can people do to protect themselves or maybe to stick up for themselves? They're experiencing that type of gang stalking.
I found
What do you
this
guys think?
interesting website. It's called Devon Parks Gang Stalking Coach.
Okay.
It says, "Why am I being gang stalked?" And he's like, let me show you this
Okay.
page.
So what do you guys think? Like how can you protect yourself, or how do you protect yourself? Like if somebody was constantly following me, like I mean, I don't know. I haven't experienced this, but like I feel like I would like turn around and say, "Oh, I hope you have a nice day." You know what I mean? And kind of be a smartass and let them know in some way, shape, or form that they weren't impacting me. Now, again, I haven't experienced this, so I don't know what it really feels like. But like, do you guys have any suggestions or advice on how others who are going through that surveillance and constantly being followed, like what they can do? I want to know
And
your opinion. Why am I getting gang stalked? Okay, this is interesting.
yeah, it's like, why am I getting gang stalked? And so I'm not sure. I think I came across this off of the Quora website. I'm not really sure how I came across it, but whatever. And it
Drop it in.
says, and this was written October 26th of 2024. And gang
Chicago.
stalking often begins with a person is added to a notification list. These lists are originally designed to track and warn communities and businesses about dangerous individuals, have expanded in purpose, often encompassing a much broader range of people. This can include those who are perceived as socially non-conforming or even politically dissonance. Sorry. Over time, this expansion has turned these lists into tools of control and surveillance affecting the targeted individuals in the communities that they live in, which is really
Gotcha.
true. But I went to this products page earlier today, and I
Oh,
was like, huh, he's got mini cameras. That's not too expensive. 360-degree dash camera. That's 119 bucks. I mean, they're pretty reasonable. Advance for the targeting individual, a gang stalking victim ebook. That's $5. Then
but could
he's
you use
got.
these tools and these videos and like take them as evidence to file some sort of a suit? Or
Wait, what was that?
could somebody use these tools, right? Like they're being followed or surveilled, like having this camera or whatever. Could they take these video recordings and like take them to somebody about and have some sort of like file a suit, or like are there any real options? What is
No, there's not, because our government is corrupt. I mean, I went to the FBI 3 times. I
Yeah.
called them twice, once locally, once federally. I went down to see the FBI agent in person off of Amelia Earhart Drive. And the only thing that he said to me was, "Do you want to know what I would do if I've been targeted and they were contaminating my water?" And I was like, "Motherfucker, I'm sorry. I have to say
Every-
that word because
yeah.
what a piece of shit." Like, so the likelihood of us being able to still collect your data, I'm not telling you not to document, because I am hopeful, because I'm very optimistic that this is going to turn around and we will have all of the evidence we need to take these deranged criminals down, because that's what they are. And in my opinion, not in my opinion, in the universe's opinion, these people will go to hell. Like,
Yeah.
they're not like spiritual beings. They're like lifeless criminals. They're going to hell.
Nefarious is her word. Emily, so I can
Nefarious.
understand how somebody has to be in your life because it's just like you have to deal with them. For example, your ex-husband's wife. So how do you protect yourself emotionally? Like you have to create some sort of a shield and protection. So like how do you guys do that? I know that Kimberly grounds herself. She goes to the ocean. And she tries to find love and light in those who she knows she can depend on. So I'm interested, like, what do you guys do? Right? Like, let's actually talk about the deeper side of protecting yourself.
Oh, well, that's interesting,
There's
Kim.
found out from one group YouTube channel here. You can hire, seriously? I mean, I wouldn't. Nothing surprises me. Well, I'm not gonna say
Right?
nothing because I don't like absolutes, but I'm not surprised by that.
Mark says there's nothing you can do. They just try not to be deceived. Yeah, I agree.
But I don't, again, I know you guys don't like this, but I don't like the absolutes. Nothing. There's got to be something you can do for yourself. Maybe you can't stop them, but how do you protect yourself or let them know, like, you don't own me. You can't take my light, even if there's just a little bit, right? So there's got to be something you can do to protect that love and light. Physical interference, intimidation, and harassment, 66%. I actually thought that this would be a higher percentage, to be honest with you. So these are strangers blocking my way using grocery carts, invading my personal space, cutting me off while walking or driving, watching me going to and from work, shining lights in my face, knocking me into the street and in all the stores, bothering me and pushing me with their hands always. So this is an intimidation technique, just like we're watching you and we're just going to bully you. Is that like this physical interference and intimidation and harassment? And is that to break your psyche? I mean, I guess
Yeah.
all of this is, right?
Yes, it's a psyops program. They want to tear you down and have you unalive yourself, in my opinion, or get you institutionalized so you'll shut up and they can take guardianship of your estate, which we're all wealthy, by the way. And so it's interesting. So I'm going to do an interview with the Vine sisters. So Sarah Martinez is the one who invited me to be a founder of that group. And she'll have on James Martinez, which is the one who does the Clone Act for your cognitive liberty. Anna Toledo will be on that group along with I'm going to call him my friend because I like him, Joseph Sansone. He is the guy that I tried to reach when I was in Florida, but he is on he's on the Radical Truth Summit. He's a psychologist, but doesn't believe in psychopathic tyranny. He's funny.
I'm loving this, guys. Look at
Yeah.
the responses. We're getting some good ones. Emily says, I tell my kid's dad I refuse to talk with her. He has to be home, or my daughter cannot be home alone with their stepmom, his new wife. That is setting boundaries.
Yes,
Right?
setting boundaries is great.
To protect yourself. That's perfect. Emily says, I sing out loud. Erica, great name. She says, singing helps me feel better. The vibration of my voice soothes. Good. You're depending on your own strength and your own strengths and finding a way to love through your own voice. I think that is beautiful. I sing aloud for all the motherfuckers to hear. My voice is horrible, by the way. There you go. Right? Shove it in their face. Like I love
sing
that.
too. That's a coping mechanism, by the way. Singing, doing stuff with your tongue. Yeah, doing that.
this.
Box
When I-
breathing.
Box breathing. Do you guys know what box breathing is? So if you
Yeah.
don't, it's like the easiest technique that you can do anywhere. And it's basically just breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
I'm repeating that. And if you repeat that between 4 to 8 times, it helps you like just
Your anxiety level.
get back into your own mind zone.
Yeah. Or eating
Um,
something sour, doing essential oils, because you got your five senses.
okay.
Remember that. And you have those for a reason. We're extremely gifted, by the way.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I didn't think about the sour. That's gotta like it's gonna shock you, right?
yep,
It should
yep,
kind of shock you and put you back in your place. I had a
yep.
feeling, Mark, you would say that. I love that. About 1 hour in the morning when I wake up, I do my morning devotion. I pray, I read the Bible, and I read devotional books. At least I have peace for 1 hour out of the day. And that's a great way to start your day. So
Mm-hmm.
whether it is you're religious or spiritual or just need some shit, I mean, just read a bunch of like motivational quotes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
finding something positive to start your day off with, I think gives you like a protective coating
Yes. I used
throughout
to
the day.
do a gratitude journal every morning, and I
Yeah.
would get up and I would write three things that I was grateful for in the gratitude journal, which
Mm-hmm.
probably helped me get through some of this bullshit. I should probably pick that habit back up again.
So I
But
do mine before bed. That way, I do mine before bed. That way, I go to sleep feeling a sense of gratitude, love, light, and peace.
mhm,
Um, and then I find when I do it, I wake up in the morning with a better mindset. But that's really dependent on what you're going to get out of it. But yes, very good tip, Kimberly.
yeah. Well,
Exercising. What is somatic exercising? I don't know what that
I
is.
I don't know, but I want to go back to what Mark was saying about the fleas and stuff, because
Oh, I missed that.
there were times where I was standing in my condo and I felt like bugs and dust were coming down on me,
I
which prevented me from eating my food. Like in some of the videos that I'm doing on my solo cast of when they were arrested me, I was very much very skinny. And the reason for that is because they wouldn't let me eat. I think like, the thinner you are, the more they can electronically harass you. I don't know that for sure. I don't know if it is like the sensation that they're, pushing into your body that makes you feel like there's bugs on you, but I had that experience. It's in my book. And it's
yeah.
this yeah, this
But if
program
they
is
make you super skinny,
amazing.
like, because you can be held against your will if you are dangerously not caring for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
they make you super skinny, if you're not eating, and that also messes with your mindset. Lack of sleep can be a huge impact on your mindset. And what I was reading here is that they do this not only to, harm you, but because medical facilities get grants based off of their numbers. And so it's a way to fund the medical system. I don't know how, but a big part of like this research study was saying
Can you put
that,
that link in there?
yeah, I'll drop it
Um,
in.
Fearless warrior woman, my friend Joy says humor because let's be honest, these people are creeps and karma is a bitch. Yes, Joy, and
Yes,
judgment day is here.
yes. And we actually that is something Kimberly and I do all the time. We find ways to laugh at the stupidest things.
Yeah.
And like if I'm down, I'll call her and she'll just find a way to make me laugh. And it's like almost instantly that mood that is like overwhelming. Like I just want to, hit
And
something.
they hate for us to find our bliss. So find it any way you can,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
survivors.
Absolutely. Hi, fearless survivor in Colorado. Um, and then what else was I gonna say? Music. So what I typically do, and again, this doesn't have to do with gang stalking, but it has to do with mindset and protecting myself when I recognize that I am starting to get overwhelmed or angry, because I can be very reactive, and responsive to what's around me. So, like, if my kid's mad, I'm madder. If my kid's happy, I'm happier, right? I feed off of their energy. So what I do is I get the loudest music I possibly can on, and like to where I can feel the music. And within 3 or 4 songs, and this is like music that like makes me wanna, not like sad and depressing music, but just makes me wanna like, you can feel. It's like somehow it like changes your body's vibrations, and you can actually pause for a second and be like, why am I really feeling this way? Right? Because anger and fear is typically a response or a protection for other feelings that you're going through. So if you can say, okay, I am not angry, I'm not scared, what is really going on? I'm sad, I'm lonely, I'm dealing with grief, whatever that is, you're able to defend yourself better. And this is only something I've learned over the past 4 months in my therapy.
Yeah,
And it's
because you're protecting your energy because these criminals and these other entity beings that are soulless like to suck off people's loosh. And loosh is when your vibration is low,
oh,
you and then that just feeds them. So don't give them the satisfaction of giving them that. So I agree with
exactly.
you, Erica, vibration and being in a positive mood, they hate that for us, which
They
is why I
do.
said they don't want us to find our bliss. So find it any way you can.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's really, there's technology you can use to protect yourself. There's methods you can use to protect yourself. I think I just dropped the link back in again. It says link to the study. There's a lot of really good information in here. But ultimately, guys, we all have to find a way, whether it's you're being gangstalked or you are struggling with depression or you're feeling grief, like find something that feels good. Find something, one thing, even, and focus on that. And Mel Robbins wrote a book. It's called I think it's uh, the something about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And basically, it's like when you start to feel this moment that you're almost out of control, if you literally just like count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and like rip off the band-aid. So maybe you can't get out of bed, right? If you just count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, your brain actually will re-trigger, and you just have to take that moment. One thing I learned yesterday in therapy, is it only takes 90 seconds for you to feel something and address it and adjust it so that you can feel something else. It is a choice. It's only 90 seconds. If you can get through that 90 seconds and then pause and make a choice, you are now in control of your mind within that
Yep.
90 seconds.
Yep.
So it's a 90-second pause. Find a way to take a 90-second pause, whether it's smelling something that you really enjoy, doing this. This is my grounding
Yep.
technique.
The five
Putting
five
on a
senses.
song. Yeah.
Something sour in your mouth,
Yep.
listening. Yeah. Yeah.
Those are
I
all methods that are great. Um, any other ideas, guys? Like we could go on for hours about this. Honestly, there's so much more in this study. Maybe we'll have to do a part 2.
I still don't see the link in the chat. You
Um,
said you put it there several times, but I'm not seeing it.
Oh, here, I'm just going to drop it to you. Is anybody else seeing it? I'm going to text it to you, Kimberly. I'm doing it through YouTube. I'm not doing it through Riverside. So, let
Oh,
me,
oh,
I don't, I mean, you should see it because I'm commenting on YouTube, but I just text it to you. We might want to put this on your resources page.
yeah.
Um,
There's a lot of things I feel like that need to go on the research page. But the fact of the matter is if you do go to a lot of these government sites,
mhm.
they're going to tell you exactly what they're doing to us, because then they can say something like, well, you know, you were informed, but
Mhm.
we didn't consent to that, you know?
Mm-mm.
We
Mm-mm.
didn't consent to the torture
And just
program.
because it's online, guys, just because it's like, that doesn't mean you know about it. Like, yeah, it doesn't mean you know about it. But there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of books, but I found this interesting because it was a actual study from people who said, I'm being gang stalked. I am a targeted individual. And it's primarily women. And I think that's because, no offense, guys, but I think that's because the most, again, I don't want to use absolutes, but in historical experiences, the male species thinks that women are property. None of you, we love all of you, but women are property, and that we are weak, and that we deserve to be put in our place. And I think that that is why women are targeted more, because they think that they can easily influence and manipulate us. But here's my answer to that. No, you fucking can't. You will not take my light.
I want to do a podcast on John Singleton Mosby because he fought in the Civil War. And I don't know if he was on the right side of the war or not. His ass got saved by Ulysses S. Grant. And he was my great great uncle. And yeah. And so that one will be an interesting one. Yeah.
We should do a live about that.
Yeah. He was called the Ghost Rider.
I'm glad.
Oh, good. Stay strong.
Stay strong. You've got this. All right. So, do we have a plan next week? I will not be here.
No, so not next week. We won't be having an episode next week, but the week after, when Erica gets back, we'll be doing graphene oxide and self-assembling nanotechnology.
Awesome. No, not really. I think I'm going to need another candy bar. Chocolate is sometimes the only way I can get through these conversations. Yeah, I think they're scared of women or mama bears. Yeah, 100%. I was vulnerable to the neighbor stalker. I knew I was going to go. Yeah, see, but here you go. Like, this is all happening. You are all experiencing this, but I want you to take advantage of the relationships that you're building through this channel. Like, we see a lot of the same faces here. So lift each other up. Even if you can just say one nice thing to somebody else on this channel, you are making a difference. So, and sometimes by giving, you are going to receive. So I truly believe that if you give without expecting something in return.
Yes.
And that can be as simple as just a, I am here. You're not alone. I care about you. I used to tell Kimberly that all the time. You are not alone. You are not alone. Say something nice to somebody. And if you can only do it here because this is a safe space, please do. All right? Because you all deserve a little bit of support. So love each other. Stay strong. See you in 2 weeks.
We've got this. See you in 2 weeks.
We've got this. And yes, we will win. We love you men, though. We do. We do. All right, guys. We'll see you not next week, but the week after. Keep staying tuned. And don't forget, Kimberly's swag is now on YouTube. And that is going to be used to help develop the systems to help others on this journey in ways that they can afford it. So, support those who support you. Mwah!
Mwah! Stay strong. Love you.
Love you.